What is the top of Tiny Tom? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be doing 25 facts about Norway. So this is probably going to be my last video of the day. And I will probably do more videos tomorrow. And I'll have to look up more stuff because I'm out of ideas. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the quote that we are on right now. When you are enthusiastic about what you do, you feel this positive energy. It's very simple. And that was by Paulo Coelho, who was a Brazilian lyricist. Alright, so let's go on to 25 facts about Norway. Let's get started. Let's get started. Number 1, the world's longest road tunnel is in Norway. At an astonishing 15 miles or 25.5 kilometers long, the Lærdal Tunnel is the world's longest, costing 1 billion Norwegian kroner. I guess kroner is a currency in Norway, to build. That's about $110 million in U.S. currency. The tunnel connects the small communities of Lærdal and Årland. Its design is admired all around the world as it incorporates features to help manage the mental strain on drivers. Every 6 kilometers, there is a cage to separate sections of the world. The lighting varies throughout the tunnel and cages to break routine and provide a varied view. Having driven through the tunnel, it's a tiring drive, and the lighting makes a massive difference. At each end, cameras count the number of cars entering and exiting. This helps ensure a swift response in the event of accident or breakdown. If you drive through the tunnel, consider taking the snow road back. It's one of Norway's national scenic routes and a spectacular drive. I'll bet closed for half of the year. Number 2, the Nobel Peace Prize is awarded in Oslo. The Norwegian capital has been the proud venue of the Nobel Peace Prize, a ceremony every year with just a few exceptions since 1901. The other Nobel Prizes in chemistry, literature, physics, and sociology or medicine are awarded in Stockholm, Sweden. That's due to the wishes of Alfred Nobel, the Swedish chemist who bequeathed his wealth to create the award upon his death. No one's quite sure why he chose Norway for the Peace Prize. Located between the City Hall and the Aker Brygge development, the Nobel Peace Center chronicles the fascinating history of the award and usually has a special exhibition on the current holder of the prize. It opened in 2005. If you've ever in Stockholm, it's worth stopping by the Nobel Center there too for the complete story. Number 3, the world's most remote island is a Norwegian territory. But it may surprise you to learn that it's not in the north. It's actually on the other side of the world. Administered by Norway since 1929, Bouvet Island in the South Atlantic Ocean is planet Earth's most remote island. It is located approximately 1,700 kilometers north of the coastline of Antarctica and 2,600 kilometers away from the South African coast. The closest inhabited land is the British overseas territory of Tristan da Cunha, more than 2,000 kilometers away. Tristan is also an extremely remote place with no airport. Norway designated the 49-kilometer square island and its territorial waters a nature reserve in the 1970s. While no one lives on the island, Norwegian authorities do maintain an unmanned weather station. This means it's easy to check the weather there from Norway or anywhere else in the world for that matter. Because of Bouvet's remoteness and the lack of an airport, visiting the island is a no-go. Unless you're a scientist on a research expedition, this is one island you'll likely never get to visit. Number 4, Norway has a land border with Russia. Although there is just one road crossing, the Norway-Russia land border is actually 120 miles long. The stores called crossing on the E105 highway is the northernmost road border crossing in Europe. In September 2017, a new tunnel and bridge opened on the Norway side of the border, decreasing travel time for those crossing the border. By the way, that's something many people do. Norwegians cross over to buy cheaper fuel for their cars, while Russians cross over to buy better quality foods in Kirkenes. Much of the border is defined by a river and cuts through dense forest for the majority of the route. Distinctive posts colored bright yellow on the Norway side and red-green stripes on the Russian side mark the border. It's important to pay attention if you're not hiking in these remote areas, because taking even a couple of steps to encircle the post is illegal. Number 5. Kirkenes is farther east than all of Finland. In fact, the small Arctic town is far east as Cairo. This continues to blow my mind when thinking about it, and I'm really surprised when people doubt it. At only 9 miles or 15 kilometers from the Russian border, Kirkenes is one of Norway's most interesting places from a social perspective. As it's so close to the border, there is a big Russian influence. You'll see bilingual street signs and plenty of shops advertising offers and deals primarily to Russian visitors. Because of the number of non-locals spending time in the town, English is very much a third language in this small town. Most international visitors have heard of the name because Kirkenes is a point at which the Hurtigruten coastal ferry turns around to continue its epic multi-day voyage back to Bergen. Most international visitors continuing their journey on board have around 3 hours to explore the city. Attractions of note including a World War II bunker that's open to visitors by prior arrangement, the Borderlands Museum, part of Varanger Museum, and the church picture. Number 6. Norway is home to a city called Hell. So there is a city that's called Hell in Norway. The small village is within walking distance of Trondheim's International Airport and even has its own train station. The train station is itself something of a tourist attraction. Several times there are spotted tourists snapping a photo of themselves in front of the station sign. But there's more to just the name. Take a short walk from the station via a signed forest trail and you'll find some crude rock carvings of reindeer. Believed to be around 5,000 years old, there's also a hotel and a small shopping center among other local facilities. Number 7. Norway introduced salmon sushi to Japan. While sushi is absolutely a Japanese invention, they did not use salmon in the dish until it was suggested by a Norwegian delegation in the 1980s. Despite the distance between the countries, Japan seemed a natural fit for Norwegian seafood. Japan's fish stocks were suffering from overfishing, but demand from consumers were high. The deals created all those years ago have helped to boost Norwegian seafood exports. In Japan, Norwegian salmon sushi is one of the most popular dishes, especially among younger people. It took time to happen, though, as the Japanese were originally concerned with the health impact of eating raw salmon, but they got over that, and Norwegian exports haven't looked back, and seafood is now one of Norway's biggest industries. Number 8. Income and wealth of all residents is on public record. Everyone living in Norway has 3 figures taken from their annual tax return published: their annual income, income tax paid, and total wealth. Prior to 2013, this data was completely open and searchable by anyone. That's since changed, though, and now a person is able to see who has locked up their own data. The thought behind this concept is that tax evasion becomes so much more difficult to accomplish. If you're recording in low income and or wealth but are driving around in a brand new Tesla, the authorities are going to get suspicious. The open nature of this data is also one of the reasons why it's so easy for Norwegian media to come up with their annual list of Norway's richest people and the country's biggest taxpayers. Number 9. The first UN Secretary General was Norwegian. In fact, Norway was a founding member of the United States back in 1945, when 850 delegates from 50 nations met in San Francisco. Those delegates discussed the proposals worked out by the representatives from China, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and the United States from August to October the previous year. The pragmatic and determined Tri Lai, who served as Norwegian foreign minister during the Second World War years of exile in London, took up the post as Secretary General during the post-war years from 1946 to 1952. He passed away in 1968 at the age of 72. Today, with the 2011 edition of South Sudan, there are 193 UN member states, including all undisputed independent states apart from the Vatican City. The current and ninth Secretary General is the Portuguese politician Antonio Guterres. Number 10. There are two versions of the Norwegian language, or to be more precise, two written variants. Bokmål is used by the vast majority of the country, while Nynorsk is most popular in rural areas, particularly in the Western Fjord region. All schools should learn both. National broadcasters and NRK publish news in both versions of the language, and all public authorities are required to offer forms and other documentation in both variants. Number 11. Modern and ancient skiing were invented in Norway. This one should come as no surprise given the Norwegian obsession with skiing and its success at an international level. Sondre Norheim is said to be the father of modern skiing. In the late 19th century, he began using stiff ski bindings so he could swing and jump with less risk of falling. His new ski design, the telemark ski, led to the modern skis we know and love. But skiing itself goes much further back. An ancient rock carving at Rodoy in northern Norway shows that people used a form of skis to get around the Norwegian mountains as long ago as 4,000 years. Finnmark is home to the oldest preserved ski ever found at an incredible 2,300 years old. However, many Norwegian words, including ski and slalom, originated right here in Norway. Number 12. Norway rocks the Winter Olympics. Perhaps not surprising given the facts above, Norway is the world's most successful nation at the Winter Olympic Games. Despite having little more than 5 million residents, Norway has won more medals than any other country in Olympic history. Following the 2018 Games in South Korea, Norway's total medal haul stood at 368, including 132 golds from the 23 competitors. Their closest rivals in the table are the United States, 305/105, and Germany, 238/92. The country hosted the event twice, in 1952 in Oslo and in 1994 in Lillehammer. The legacy of the latter competition continues to this day, and the Norwegian Olympic Museum in Lillehammer is one of the country's most interesting museums. Another fun Olympic-related fact about Norway: King Olav V won an Olympic gold medal in sailing in 1928. He was an active sailor throughout his life and in his reign. Number 13. Europe's biggest herd of wild reindeer lives in Norway. Although it may surprise you to learn that they don't live in the Arctic, the herd roam Hardangervidda, Europe's biggest mountain plateau. The national park includes vast plateaus, lush valleys, high mountains, distant glaciers, waterfalls, and stunning fjords. The number of wild reindeer in winter totals around 25,000 animals, of which up to 7,000 are found in Hardangervidda. For centuries, wild reindeer used to roam freely across Norway, but as a result of extensive hunting, they were driven into the mountainous areas of south-central Norway in the late 19th century. Number 14. Norway also has a volcano. It is nowhere near the country's biggest cities and won't impact Norway's mainland if it were to erupt. That's because Norway's only active volcano is on the island of Jan Mayen in the Norwegian Sea. It's about halfway between Norway and Greenland. Northern Iceland is considered together with Svalbard for administrative purposes by the government. Although no permanent residents live anywhere near the 7,306 feet or 2,227 meters Berenberg volcano, research scientists regularly visit the island and even some cruise ships stop by. Number 15, Norway isn't called Norway, at least not in Norwegian. Norway is the name of the country in the English language. In Norwegian, the country is called Nord. In the lesser used Norse variety of Norwegian, the spelling is Noreg. Wow. In fact, the full name of the country is actually the Kingdom of Norway. In Norwegian, this is written as a Kongeriget Norway or Kongeriget Norway in Norsk. Other names for the country include Norwegian in Germany, Norvegia in Spanish and Portuguese, Norvegia in Italian, Norvegia in French, and Norge in Finnish. Meanwhile, the Norwegian language is known in Norway as Norsk. Number 16. Norway gave the world the cheese slicer. The cheese slicer was invented way back in 1925 by Thor Björklund and has become a staple of all Scandinavian kitchens and many others around the world. While a lot of cheeses were sold pre-sliced, many people still buy blocks of cheese and use the invention that has changed little in almost 100 years. Number 17. Oslo is Norway's most diverse city. Of the 648,000 people in Oslo, 190,000 were born to immigrants or are immigrants themselves. That's nearly 30% of the city's population, compared to around 50% in the country overall. The largest ethnic minority in Oslo is Pakistani, followed by immigrants from Sweden, Somalia, and Poland. The diversity of Oslo was among the many emerging topics addressed in the Norwegian TV youth drama Scam. It found fans across the world thanks to unofficial translations on YouTube. For many years, Oslo was Europe's fastest growing city in percentage terms, but that growth has begun to level off. During the first half of 2017, more people moved out of Oslo than moved in, for the first time in several years. Number 18. Norway is powered by oil. Sure, Norway's oil and gas industry has powered the economy, but it doesn't power the nation's homes. Around 98% of Norway's domestic power usage is drawn from hydroelectric power plants. Although Norway is only ranked 9th globally based on the percentage of domestic power sourced from the renewable sources, the country actually generates more electricity than all of the 8 countries ranked above them combined. While the Norwegian government says Norway will be carbon neutral by 2030, that only takes into account domestic emissions and not the much larger amount embedded in its oil and gas exports. The government has also tightened energy efficiency standards for buildings and have encouraged firms and homeowners to burn wood and other forms of biomass for heat and power instead of fossil fuels. Number 19, the colonel-in-chief of the Norwegian King's Guard is a Scottish penguin. Yes, you heard that right. Brigadier Sir Niels Olaf was held the title since 2005, but the involvement goes back to 1972 when the regiment adopted a penguin from Edinburgh Zoo, and the zoo's opening in 1913 when Norway presented it with its first king penguin. The name Niels Olaf and ranks in the Norwegian military have been passed down to 3 king penguins since 1972. The current holder is Niels Olaf III. It's not as unique as it may think. William Billy Windsor, a Go, served in the British Army, while Syrian Brown Bear Wojtek was enlisted in the Polish Army as a private and subsequently promoted to corporal. Number 20. No one knows how long Norway's coastline is. It's known throughout the world for its jagged mountains and stunning fjords, but believe it or not, no one knows for sure just how long Norway's epic coast is. The somewhat counterintuitive observation that the coastline of a landmass does not have a well-defined length is known as the coastline paradox. Because of the fractal nature of a coastline, you can only define its length by using units of the specific length. When the unit length differs, the total length differs, and the difference can be massive. The stretching all the way from the Oslo Fjord down to the sunny south, in and out of the many western fjords, and then stretching off for many miles northward before bending around the top of the Scandinavian peninsula to meet with Russia. Only one thing's for sure, it's very long. Arguably, the best way to enjoy the Norwegian coastline, if you don't have your own boat that is by taking the full Hurtigruten coastal voyage from Bergen to Kirkenes and back again. On a 12-day voyage, you'll get up close to some of the country's most iconic scenery. Number 21. Norway supplies London with a Christmas tree every year, and it's not just any tree. To say thank you for their help during World War II, the city of Oslo sends Britain a tree every Christmas. The tall Norwegian spruce from the Oslo's forest is placed prominently in Trafalgar Square. The tree, decorated in a typical Norwegian style with white lights, provides a focal point for the carol singing festivities that take place on the square throughout the Christmas period. Number 22. Norway was neutral during the First World War. After the First World War broke out, Norway declared its neutrality. Despite this, Norway still made trade agreements with Great Britain and in 1917 allowed them to take control of Norwegian sea vessels. Norway's impartial position was in place until April 1940, just 2 months into the Second World War, when the Germans invaded. The Scandinavian country was an attractive location for Adolf Hitler, who was interested by its many accessible sea ports and the extraction of iron ore from nearby Sweden. The Norwegian royal family and the government were hastily transported to London, where they managed to form a government in exile and organize the Norwegian war effort from afar. Number 23. Roald Dahl spoke Norwegian. Writer Roald Dahl may have been born in Wales, but he was the son of Norwegian parents. He was best known for his children's short stories, most notably the BFG, which was The Big Friendly Giant, James and the Giant Peach, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yep, I'm pretty sure I've read and seen all these. The last mention was inspired by Norway's most famous chocolate brand, Freia. Dahl is said to have taken inspiration for the story from the Freia Chocolate Factory. However, the BBC recently claimed Dahl was inspired by Cadbury running tasting tests at Dahl's boarding school in Derbyshire. Perhaps there's truth in them both. Number 24. Henry Holt's favorite Norway hangouts are real. Joe Nesbo is Norway's leading crime fiction writer. His dark and moody portrayal of the country's most dangerous individuals, particularly its murderers, is captured in detail in the Henry Holt series of crime thrillers. Most of the places featured in the series are based on real-life locations. Visitors to Oslo can follow his footsteps of Detective Holt. Take a stroll down his home residence on Sofus Gate in Bislett. Visit his workplace, the Oslo District Police Station, Politihuset, or simply wander through Frogner Park on a winter's day. Number 25, which is the last one. Norway's capital wasn't always called Oslo. Founded in 1040, its name was originally spelled Anslo or Aslo. In 1624, after a great fire destroyed large parts of the city, the decision was made to move and rebuild it closer to Akershus fortress. The move also involved changing the name to Christiania in honor of the ruling monarch King Christian IV. Between 1814 and 1905, the city existed as the co-official capital of the union between Norway and Sweden. In 1877, after the spelling reform, the city's name was altered to Christiania and remained that way until 1925 when it returned to its origin name, Oslo. The city also has a nickname, Tigerstaden, or the City of Tigers, named so in 1870 by Norwegian writer Bjornson, who referred to the city as an inhospitable environment, cold and inviting. There is a statue of a tiger outside Oslo Central Station in honor of the reference. So that is all 25 facts about Norway. I hope you guys enjoyed, Top Fam, and make sure to subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications so you make sure to receive every single video whenever I post, and like my videos and share these to your friends and family and comment on my videos. And yeah, thanks for watching, Top Fam, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, Top Fam. See you later. Love you guys.